1, 2, 3, now. Ooh, that's good. You do got that fishing affliction. That's good. Woo! Boy, don't get no better that first thing in the morning. Woo!
How big is this fish? How big is that?
Oh, God, what a monster. An absolute monster. Woo! Man, that fires me up. You know what?
Big dog, it's time to wet a line, because it's Fishin' Affliction time for those who've got it bad. Well, mom and dad's grab the kids, it's time for the fishing show. Me and the big dog's gonna go catch them down at the fishing hole. Well, you better stick around, cause you don't know what you're missing. Yeah, me and the big dog's got that fishing affliction. Grab your hats, grab your baits, don't forget your poles. We're gonna fire up that old Ranger boat and head to the fishing hole. We're gonna try to catch a biggin', yeah, that's what we're wishing. Cause me and the big dog's got that fishing affliction. Yeah, me and the big dog's got that fishing affliction. Yeah. Yeah, and we've got it bad.
I've got that fishing affliction.
Hey, I'm Art Defo, and I've got that fishing affliction.
Hi, I'm Denny Brower, and I've got that fishing affliction.
Hey, I'm Mark Menendez, and I've got that fishing affliction.
I'm Bobby Lane, and I got that fishing affliction. Hi, I'm Chris Lane, and I got that fishing affliction.
I'm Shaw Drigsby, and I got that fishing affliction.
Just like me. Here, fishy, fishy, here, fishy, fishy, here.
That's a nice one. Well, no begging for a bite. How about that, Doug?
It's two pretty quick off of that. That's a pretty nice fish right there.
Isn't that nice? Well, folks, it's time to wet a line because it's fishing affliction time, and welcome into today's episode, part 2 of Heating Up the Slabs, as I'm doing some crappie fishing with Doug Markham on Old Hickory Lake, having a whole bunch of fun and catching some big old crappie. Today's fishing affliction product spotlight features those rugged electronic mounts by Ram Mounts. Can't get enough Fishing Affliction TV? Then be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and Vimeo channels for web exclusive content. Be sure to like our ever popular and growing Facebook page, and at the end of the show you'll meet the Fishing Affliction Facebook Friend of the Week. So sit back and enjoy part 2 as Doug Markham and I are heating up the slabs there on Old Hickory Lake, right here on Fishing Affliction TV. Well, no begging for a bite. How about that, Doug?
It's two pretty quick off of that, and that's a pretty nice fish right there.
Isn't that nice?
Yes, it is. The wind got up a little bit there, and that wind it stepped up to about a 16th from a 32nd. And anytime you can go more heavy, I like it. I like that light stuff, but heavy's kind of cool.
And we're doing an approach here too of casting before we get over them vertically.
Yep.
You know, supposedly there's this whole spooking of the fish when you get over them. I don't experience that near as much that I find out, but
no,
some
crappie.
people.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it'll clear water, but I know we've done it a lot of times on Kentucky Lake too. We're doing it here today.
Nice fish, Doug.
Doesn't seem to be hurting them. All right. Keeper?
Yeah, I believe so. That looks good.
Where's your board?
My board is right there, Doug. There's the freight bill.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, freight bill easy checker.
I'm going to say 11. At least 10 and a half. Are you hung?
I'm saying 11.
I think it'll go 11 too.
The bottom of the tape is 10.
The bottom of the tape is 10?
The bottom of the tape is 10. He's a flying crappie. It's a new species.
You're all hung up too, aren't you?
Well, it's all right, though.
Come out here. These freight bills are good to keep you legal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. He'd be 12.
Probably 12.
Yeah, he's 12-inch fish.
Yep. He's in the fly wheel, right?
Right there.
All right.
It's a good one.
That's a good one.
All right.
It's all right. You go?
Yes, I got you, Doug. I got you.
Oh, he's not really.
He's a little, he's a good one to throw back, you know?
He is, but he was a traditional good old crappie.
I tell you what, you've got the stroke down today too, buddy.
I've been watching you, Dan.
No, I don't know, eh? Hey, that's neat though, huh?
Yeah.
And just think, if it was crappie season, Doug, geez, if it was crappie season.
If we'd already, the show would already down. We'd be way over. Yeah, it's not crappie season. It's summertime. They don't bite.
Beautiful. It's beautiful fish. As we sit here today, it's we're getting into the latter parts of June.
Yep.
And the weather's great. But last week when I came out here, which was only maybe 4 days ago, caught some fish, took them home, filleted them, and they still had eggs.
They still had eggs.
Still had eggs.
You know, I was seeing that on Percy Preach too up till a couple of weeks ago, that they still had eggs. Don't know what that means for the future, whether TWRA is going to have to put more fish out there in the water if they had a bad year, but enjoy the present right now.
Well, would you please pass on to the TWRA, since you are so closely associated, that we extremely thank them for what they're doing, because obviously this whole thing, especially with crappie, it's working.
You know, it's a good relationship, Dan, between the sportsmen and TWRA. I'm real proud of the guys I've worked with for a long time at TWRA, the biologists and the wildlife officers, but the sportsmen's dollars are what fund TWRA. It's a great, and not all states are just like that. Tennessee specifically funded by sportsmen's dollars, and it's a great working relationship.
The boy, not just crappie, but also you got a phone call just a little bit ago that you're going to be talking about a little bit about smallmouth and
stocking smallmouth. Yep, stocking hybrids, stripers, walleye, sauger, black-nosed crappie. All that's going on right now, Dan.
That's awesome. Well, we'll catch them on a future Doug Outdoors, or maybe before they even see this, hopefully. But I'll tell you what, crappie season is not over, is it?
Crappie season's just starting, as far as I'm concerned.
Let's go get them. Last I checked, they live in the water 365 days a year.
They do, and they don't quit. They still get hungry after May.
They do, don't they?
They do.
Doug, that was down in it, wasn't it?
It was. This is a little black crappie, I think.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're down in there, Dan, and you know,
they are.
I just was talking to you too. I think this is probably this fish right here that's right at almost 10. It might be 10 if we looked at it. That's probably from 2010 class. That means Old Hickory next spring during crappie season is going to be fabulous. So when crappie season rolls around again.
Yeah, I know it. Not now, of course.
Yeah, don't fish now, but when crappie season rolls around. And I'm going to measure this guy because we've got so many
get you this one
that are right at this size today. I want to see what they are. I'm curious.
The Fraybill Easy Checker is exactly that, isn't it?
Yeah, except that I don't know how to use it. It is Easy Checker, but they will wiggle on you if you don't hold them a little bit. Thank you.
You're right at the 10 mark.
Saying if you wanted to manipulate, you could probably get it.
Yeah,
if you want.
That's that perfect fish to throw back right there.
That fish is going back in the water, so the next crappie season, y'all can come out here and get it, okay?
Next crappie season. That's right.
There we go.
Let's get some more.
They're in there.
Well, folks, it sure looks like crappie season isn't over, as Doug, Markham, and I are enjoying heating up the slabs. And in a few moments, we'll be right back there in the wilds of Old Hickory Lake. But speaking of in the wilds, let's go see some pictures from this week's
In the Wild. Your pictures in the wild.
Well, folks, Daniel Baldwin sent us this picture of a couple of his buddies that are holding a 70-pound monster catfish that they did some wrestling with and won. And this is Josh Hawk with a big, gigantic paddlefish. And here is a monster largemouth caught by Stan Nunley, weighing over 10 pounds. Folks, you can post your pictures there on our ever-popular Facebook page, seen by thousands of fans of Fishin' Affliction every day. And maybe you'll see that picture right here on the big screen.
In the wild. Your pictures in the wild.
You're the rookie. This is your moment.
Mark it, 15 pounds, 10 ounces, steel champions this year, Kentucky Lake Strike King.
When you tie on a bait by Strike King.
Hey man, we got your back.
You're standing on the shoulders of legends.
Smyrna Ready Mix is an established company that handles business daily with integrity and professionalism. Whether you're a general contractor, professional builder, or a do-it-yourself homeowner, SRM has your concrete solutions. With several convenient locations in the Middle Tennessee area to serve you, the only call you need to make is to SRM, ready to serve you with integrity and professionalism.
Fishin' Affliction's Facebook page. Like it.
Well,
you got something different.
Yeah, sometimes, Doug. It's not always crappie you're after, is it? Or that crappie that bites, rather. That's our first largemouth of the day, boy.
It's because it is bass season, you know.
But look at the tail, Doug.
Yeah.
Look how worn down the tail has been from spawning.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a little male, you think, possibly?
Yep.
Or isn't that something? Just out here, just recouping,
yeah,
finding food, and there's no shortage of it in Old Hickory Lake.
No, there's not.
Unbelievable how this lake is just loaded with all kinds of threadfin and gizzard shad, and never mind all the other temperate bass family things like the white bass and the yellow bass, and just an endless supply of food for them. And one of those neat things about just getting down, when you get down over them, you know, you're placing that bait right in their house, you know, and really going into those places where casting picks up those active feeding fish. And actually Doug just picked up one where he just worked it through. I was watching him work it, and he actually let it go through the stuff, and he was able to get it out. But one of the best effective ways to get down in that structure, this Kentucky rig, as highly recommended by crappie fishing legend Harold Morgan. And I'll tell you what, he knows what he's talking about.
One of the best I ever got in the boat with.
Oh my goodness, awesome. Unreal. Well, folks, as I'm getting all re-rigged, let me tell you about my Fishin' Affliction gear list that I use when I use that Kentucky rig. First, a high-performance rod and reel combination made from Akuma in a medium-heavy 6.5-foot spinning rod and ultra-light reel combination. Now, that ultra-light reel is spooled with Seaguard's Kansan braided line in 20-pound test. And tied to the end of that braid is a 3-foot leader of Seaguard's 20-pound test red label fluorocarbon. Now, tied to the end of that line is about a 1/4 ounce to a 1/2 ounce bell sinker, and 18 inches above that, I like to use an 1/8 ounce mustad jig head, and one more 18 inches above that. And on those mustad jig heads, Strike King Mr. Crappie grubs and also the slab hammer is the perfect combination in any colors that you like. And throughout the course of the day, Real Magic from Blakemore keeps that whole outfit casting smoothly when Doug and I are turning up the heat on those slabs. Oh, get him, Doug, get him, get him. Woo! Man.
I don't know what he did. He knocked it up, and I'm actually on the side of him there, but he hit it up. I lost all contact with everything.
What do you think of that?
I think it's a good fish.
Boy, it'd be nice if...
Does he count since he knocked it up? I got him right.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a good fish.
That's a nice one.
It is.
Nice fish. Let me hold that for you.
Another vertical jig fish.
Yeah.
And that's something you got to watch for. It doesn't happen to me a whole lot, but I mean, it absolutely, I felt it hit it, and then I could feel nothing.
Nothing.
And so I just set the hook, and there he is.
Nice. You know, so much for the boat scaring them.
So much for the boat scaring them. I just think crappie I don't think they care like other fish do.
Gosh, that's a nice one, Doug. Yep. That is another nice
You're
fish.
a good guy, Dan.
I don't know. I got good electronics. And Strike King baits.
That helps a lot too.
It does too, doesn't it?
It does. On the bottom one.
On the bottom one, Doug. On the bottom one. Matter of fact, I think that's where my last several have been.
Right there on the bottom one.
Yeah.
So you think you're just liking that color?
Yeah, you know, and two, I think it has a lot to do too with their positioning sometimes. You know, I think once you start getting several of them to bite, you know, these fish, they're just not going to sit there and just be undisturbed. You know, they're going to find comfort. That's that nice sized fish too. That's good to throw back too.
That's a white crappie. Yeah, he's a keeper, no but he'll be so much better next year.
He'll be a big one next year.
Yeah, he will be.
So beautiful fish. Just a beautiful fish. We're down in them and making sure that make your cast with your 1/8 ounce heads, your 32 ounce heads with your Strike King crappie grubs or whatever your favorite grub is. Get those active feeding fish, but right now we're just getting right in their house and we're knocking on the door and they're still biting. Just think if it was crappie season.
I just can't. I hate to think it. All right, look at that.
Well,
that's a nice one.
We positioned ourselves off some structure, quite a bit of structure right here. Doug, you're casting to this back structure, and I was just trying to do some vertical jigging on the front structure. Wind's kicking up a little bit. That's one of the big things about if you're going to be doing any vertical fishing is to make sure you have the stuff that gets down to those fish, because sometimes casting, well, the wind will just affect you too much. You won't be able to do it. But I'll tell you what, he hit that Strike King jig, and I mean, he pummeled it. It's a nice fish, Doug.
That's a good fish.
Yeah.
That's getting the slab territory for sure. Look how
close, isn't it?
Fat, almost as long. It's a good fish.
Well, he sure loved it. Well, I'm going to do a little surgery.
Okay.
And then we're going to do some more surgery. All right, buddy.
All right. All right.
Well, back to the hot spot, Doug. This is another one good to throw back. Even if he were to measure, he'd probably be a little bit. He might maybe make it if you press those tails.
I bet he would. He looks about, he's close.
He's a pretty fish, but he's going to be a beautiful fish next year. He'll be a big one. just made one move to our original spot. And we haven't been here for probably just, matter of fact, 2 casts, and we get the fish. Isn't it neat to see how the fish relate to some structure and but not everything. That's one of the things you're gonna find favorite spots, just like deer have a certain tree they like to eat off at times, and crappie have their certain trees they like to be in at times. And I've seen in this particular area, Doug, where they'll actually flip-flop. You won't catch them in this hot spot one day, come back to it, and then they'll be back there. And with this high-def stuff from Lowrance, you can actually see the fish in the structure very well. Let's see if we can get them again. Doug? I think that one's going in live.
Is that a keeper?
That is a keeper. That's a beautiful fish. Nice looking fish. Just changed on our spot just a little bit. Probably pushing that 11 and a half, 12 inch
easy.
range.
Yeah.
Beautiful fish, and that fish beautiful.
Easy, pretty white crappie.
Folks, Doug, Markham, and I are turning up the heat on those Old Hickory slabs and having a whole bunch of fun. And we'll be right back with some more fishing action. And when we return on this week's For Hunters Only, it's time to head up to Poindexter's Outdoors there in Gallatin, Tennessee to get everything that you need for your muzzle loading supplies and those Paul Pollock deer lures. All of that when we return. But right now, let's head upstairs to the kitchen to see what Miss Vicki's got cooking this week. In the Skillet with Miss Vicki, the most delicious part of Fishin' Affliction TV.
Welcome to In the Skillet. I'm Vicki Porter, and today I'm going to show you how to make a recipe for baked cod. This is a recipe that I make all the time at home, and I think that you will enjoy it. And now for the ingredients. You will need olive oil, cod fillets, garlic and herb feta cheese, rotel, shredded Parmesan cheese, butter, and salt and pepper. First, in a baking dish, add your olive oil. Then we're going to add our cod fillets. Next, sprinkle your feta cheese over the cod fillets and get it on there kind of even. Okay, now we're going to top it with the rotel. Next, season with your salt and pepper. Now add your Parmesan cheese and put a little pat of butter on top of each fish fillet. Now we're going to bake this uncovered at 400 for 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, you can sit down and enjoy this delicious baked cod. You can find this recipe at intheskillet.com. I'm Vicki Porter. Tune in next week to see what's cooking in the skillet.
S11 sunglasses makes it like the water is not even there.
All right, everyone, here we are in November. It's time for some great small game hunting across the state, and I'm talking about rabbit hunting, and I'm talking about quail hunting. Yes, I know quail isn't as great as it used to be, but there's still a lot of quail hunters, and there's some birds out there, and TWRA is always working on the populations. But it's a good time of year for small game hunters who like to take their dogs out. You don't have to have dogs, but most people that hunt quail and rabbit, they take their dogs out with them and have a great time, and their dogs have a great time. And those seasons, both of those seasons are open until the last day of February this year. And if you don't know the bag limit, it's on page 20 in the hunting guide, but make sure you get it, or you can look at tnwildlife.org and see the guide in fullness right there. And don't forget, there really is a snipe season, and it opens on November the 14th. And I've hunted them a time or two. They're a lot of fun, and you really can find them, and you don't need a sack. What you need is a shotgun. Anyway, check out the guide. Get outside. You got a long time now, you small game hunters, to hunt small game in Tennessee. It's your time of the year. I'll see you next week right here on Fishin' Affliction.
Well, folks, on today's Fishin' Affliction product spotlight, it's about those rugged electronic mounts from Ram Mounts. And instead of talking about them, I wanted to show you the Ram Mounts in action. And if a picture speaks 1,000 words, then check out this video, folks. As you can see, we trust these Ram Mounts to hold down our very valuable Lowrance electronics. And as we're bouncing across those rough waters on Old Hickory Lake, We are confident that those rugged electronic mounts from Ram Mounts are going to do what they're designed to do. Secure those valuable depth finders and anything else that they're holding. Head on over to rammounts.com to see the great selection of those rugged electronic mounts from Ram Mounts and pick you up a few to hold your valuable electronics. And now, folks, back to Fishin' Affliction.
Fishin' Affliction's YouTube channel. Watch it.
Welcome back to Fishin' Affliction TV, and this segment of the show is brought to you by Ranger Boats, Mercury Outboards, Deca Batteries, Akuma High Performance Fishing Gear, Seagar Fishing Line, Mustad Hooks, Onyx Life Jackets and Rainwear, Fraybill, Real Magic, Rugged Marine Electronic Mounts by Ram Mounts, Wigwam Socks, BBG Marine, and Tournament Wear.
For hunters only, brought to you by Poindexter's Outdoors in Gallatin, Tennessee, serving the sportsman since 1965, and PaulPollocksDeerLures.com, producing the greatest selection of all natural buck and doe deer lures on today's market.
Deer season's been here for quite a while already, and I'm still shooting my bow almost every day in the woods, enjoying another beautiful deer season in these Tennessee woods. But muzzle loading season is just around the corner. And for you folks that shoot those smoke poles, it's time to head up there to Poindexter's Outdoors in Gallatin, Tennessee for all of your supplies. All the black powder that you need, all the actual bullets that you need for your muzzle loading gear. Poindexter's Outdoors in Gallatin, Tennessee has everything that you need to enjoy your deer hunting out in the woods during that time of the year. Poindexter's Outdoors, they've been serving the sportsmen since 1965, and they know how to take care of everybody that comes through that door. Go see Buddy, Scott, Chris, and all the fine folks up there at Poindexter's. Tell them Fishin' Affliction sent you, while I keep actually shooting and practicing my bow. My goodness, no matter how much you shoot, you still need to keep on practicing. Not bad. And folks, while you're up there picking up those muzzleloader supplies, be sure to get you a few of those Paul Pollock deer lures as the rut is starting to kick in. Folks, these deer lures are simply the best all-natural buck and doe deer lures on today's market, and they're sold exclusively in Middle Tennessee, right there at Poindexter's Outdoors.
Is that a keeper?
That is a keeper. That's a beautiful fish. Nice looking fish. Just changed on our spot just a little bit. Probably pushing that 11 and a half, 12
oh, easy.
range.
Yeah.
Beautiful fish, isn't that beautiful?
Easy, pretty white crappie.
Just throwing these jigs real gently through the stuff and working it. Got to kind of adjust with the wind. You're throwing real light stuff and I'm throwing fairly light stuff. I'm using braid and you're using mono, or is it a mono that you're using?
Mono mostly, yep. Okay.
Well, they both have their benefits for sure. And that's a benefit, no matter what you catch them on.
That's right, good fish. Come on, baby. All right, we're rolling.
Doug, it might be Fraybill net time. He's a pretty good one. Where's that Fraybill net?
All right, pretty fish.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know it's another picture taking time for me too.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful, huh? We'll put a few more in the live well. We don't take them all, but this is another good one. Another good one. Beautiful, huh?
Put them in the live well. All right. You go it.
It's punishment, Doug. Just punishment.
It's awful.
Do you need the net, or you got them?
No, I think we're gonna try.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness gracious.
What would Rusty Rust do to catch a fish like this?
Well, we just got off the phone with the big dog, so we're gonna dedicate this slab to something the big dog will never put his mitts on, because, you know, crappie fishing, it might not be for everybody, but I can sure say it's for me and you, that's for sure.
It's for me and you, and observation of the day. There's been several, and we probably already discussed it. You probably already have. The bigger fish are coming off the vertical jigging today.
Sure enough.
Casting's fun, but these fish are right in the middle of the stuff the bigger ones are, and sometimes that's what it takes.
How beautiful is that right there, Doug?
You want to put another one in the box?
Yeah, we'll put one more or two in there. That we got a nice mess already.
Yes, we do. And
that's great.
Vicki likes cooking that stuff.
You know what?
Not give one to Rusty.
That is great. Yeah. Awesome. You know, just think, Doug, if it was crappie season.
If it was crappie season, man, this would be scary.
It would be.
I hate that they don't bite this time of year.
Oh, it's horrible.
They quit. They quit a month ago.
They sure did, didn't they? I'm glad they did.
Just if it were.
See if they're still quitting. All right. Crappie season's over, Doug.
It's been over, Dan. We're really just wasting our time today.
Yeah, I know it. I tell you, unbelievable.
There's many things we could be doing.
And I told you I haven't been out in the mornings to fish for this, and I've been getting out about this time. And this is the time of the day, well, a little bit after, maybe near lunchtime or so. And I've been experiencing an incredible bite all throughout the day. And today was my first morning to get out with you and experience a morning bite. And it was very good this morning time, but it seems now that the sun's getting straight up. We're pushing into that real tight structure, and these fish are just slab hammering these baits.
Good Old Hickory crappie. Telling you, it is the lake in Middle Tennessee this year. Priest is great too, but I believe Old Hickory's a little better this year, size-wise.
Yeah. Unreal. I'm gonna do some surgery.
All right.
Doug, how about that, huh?
On the top one there, Dan.
Yep.
That was an odd hit. I almost didn't know he was on there.
We've changed places. We've moved, made about a 10-minute run, not quite.
Let me tell you what, he's serious too, because that is down in his mouth.
These deep water crappie, they get serious sometimes when they're going for that bait.
Yes, they do. I might have to do surgery too.
Little surgery? Beautiful fish, Doug. Beautiful fish.
It's probably 11 and a half.
Probably close to it. Yeah, let me get the pliers.
All right, we'll take care of this. Get that little rod out there and tell you what.
Oh my.
This has been an interesting day for lots of reasons, Dan, and one of them is that you can't catch crappie in the heat of the day, of course. The other's been the vertical jigging, and the other is just how good you've gotten with your electronics. I'm telling you, electronics can catch you a lot of fish. Yes, you can still go find fish without them. I don't ever want to discourage anyone from that. But if you can get decent on your electronics and learn them more than just getting the temperature off of them and how deep your water is, you're going to really improve your fishing.
Doug, crappie season is over.
It's been over, Dan.
I'll tell you, hard to believe. Middle of the day.
Yeah.
Still catching 11 and a half, 12-inch fish. Well, we're about to call it a day, but it has been a fun day.
It has been. And just think, had it been crappie season.
Just had. And you know what? Why don't we let that one go back for crappie season? We've got some beautiful ones in the live well. That's beautiful.
This is for y'all next spring, okay?
Next spring.
Next crappie season.
Next spring. A lot of fun, Doug. A lot of fun. That's great.
Great time.
He'll be a big slab next year, won't he?
Be trouble next year.
I think so.
Mr. Allen, we're going to come get you.
Uh-oh, watch out, Mr. Allen, come get you. Mr. Allen might come get us, Doug, if we keep doing that. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed this adventure of the day as Doug, Markham, and I have been turning up the heat on those Old Hickory slabs. And be sure to join us next week for another exciting episode, because there's no doubt that we've got it bad, because we've got that
Fishin' Affliction.
This week's Team Fishin' Affliction featured Facebook friend is
Alina Marie.
And thanks for being our Facebook friend. For your chance to join in the fun and become an official Team Fishin' Affliction featured Facebook friend, simply like us on Facebook. And be sure to write a comment on our wall. As always, a big thank you to all of our national and local sponsors for providing us with the most advanced technology and highest quality products and services. Be sure to visit each of our partners online through the sponsor links page on our official website at fishandaffliction.com. And this is your old pal Matthew Gillen, the voice of Fishin' Affliction TV, hoping that you'll tune in next week, because there's no doubt that Dan and the big dog got it bad. They've got Fishin' Affliction for those who got it bad.
I'm still practicing that bow. Still practicing. To all the types of the caliber of the actual bullets, it's time. Every time I go to do something like this, I can't never think of anything. You know, muzzleloading season is a time of the year where you can get those big bucks. It's the first time they're going to hear the boom booms go off in the woods, isn't it? So it's a great time to get out there and be... Boom booms. The boom booms are in the woods, just so you know. Those boom booms.